Yes, how are you today? Stephanie back again. It's late. I have no idea what time it is. Oh, hey, these are the cards I'm working on. Making the new sets. I think I just need to make pages and pages of these guys because, wow, did they turn out awesome. They're so cool. Yeah, really beautiful. So, working simultaneously on those, and these, and that, and this. Okay. So, where we left off this morning was line up and punch the holes. That is what we've done. It is. So, now we can look at this and the outer cover. Is that outer? Where's the outer piece of chipboard? That's not it. Okay, we have this guy. Did I throw it down here? What do I do with it, guys? Come on. Ah! Oh, jeez. Right there. So, okay, let's, question is, do we want to cover this guy with fabric before we string it? Which would be the smart thing to do. Because then, on the inside of the book, then everything's all nice and even and pretty. And I like even and pretty. And I like being, cognizant of what it looks like from all directions, right? Right. We like to consider all aspects. Okay, so we've got this fabric is going to be the outside, and you know, I could just wrap it in this, a nice lightweight, and then we have a nice contrasting print. I think that looks quite spectacular, like that. So that's what I'm going to do right now, super fast, before I start to string this, because I care. Okay, and don't get stuff on these things, right? So this is going to be step 6. Cover, inner binder, inner binder, piece with whatever. Got it. Hike. Put a piece of something down here so we don't get matte all messy. Still want to keep this up, and we want to remember that this is up, so on the back side we're gonna put top. Now we've got a whole lot of fabric or paint on that. Okay. It is a day, folks. It has been quite the day. I'm posting, or I'm editing a video right now that I'm going to post. You know, and it's been so hard for me to decide whether I want to post this or not, because, you know, it's giving out a lot of personal information. And by doing that, you know, is that the healthy thing to do? Is that the right thing to do? Is that going to be beneficial to my business? Is that going to be beneficial to a future job? Is that going to be, you know, all these different things going through my head, like, oh God, you're giving out too much information. On the other hand, I feel as if you guys And you know who you are, you wonderful, beautiful people that follow along with me. You know, you're taking this journey with me. You're invested in me, and in order to honor that, I feel like I should be honest with you with what's happening in my life, you know? And it's pretty stressful stuff. I still don't know if I should post it or not, you know? I know if I asked my friends, they'd say, no, why are you telling people that? Well, I'm telling people that because I feel like I have a connection with you, and I kind of feel like you guys deserve to know what's going on with me. You know, I'm going to have a lot of, hopefully I'll have some new followers after my magazine article comes out, and if that happens, you know, am I giving them too much information without having them have any background on who I am or what I'm about, or, you know, and my job situation can change, and so, you know, that was just from yesterday when I recorded it, and, you know, if my job situation changes, then I've got a recording out there saying that I'm going to go do this. Well, you know, I'm going to do what's in my best interest to do. And if I do get an opportunity offered to me, yes, I will take up that opportunity. You darn right. I have to. But, you know, it's a tough situation, guys. And I still don't know where I'm going to land. I started looking at a couple of other places. I started looking, actually, even in, like, Colorado and Southern Oregon. And I want to go up into Northern California. But, you know, if my number one choice comes through, I'm good to go. You know, I'll be ecstatic about that, right? Still working on that. You know, I don't know if that's going to happen. And, if that happens, then it's good. And I'm looking at other places along the way. Other towns, other regions of the country. You know, which I haven't even thought about something like even like Texas, going down to like Austin or something like that. I know Austin's kind of a hip happening town. I'd like to find a little small tourist area or an area that does get traffic but doesn't have any gift shops. If I could do that, that would be super cool. Okay, we're on to step 7. Stringing. Signatures. Alright, I like to start on the outside. I do a figure 8. I do a full out, and then bring it back. Sometimes I do a couple figure 8s, and yeah, I probably overdo it. 1, 2, 3, 4 seems to be just fine for my obsessive compulsive way of making my books. Okay, I need my needles. And this was in a bookbinding kit that I got off of Amazon. It had this lovely owl in the string and all the needles, and I don't know why I have such problems saying some words. Owls, you know, it sounds like I'm saying owl as in hoo hoo, you know, instead of the holy pokey thingy. Okay, so this is not number 1. Number 1 is this guy. No, number 1 is this guy. Okay, because I like the front of this paper the best. Alright, so we'll bring this guy up through the back. And we will bring it through bottom hedgehog. Come on, buddy. Try not to poke yourself too many times. I have a tendency to poke myself all the time, thereby drawing blood, getting blood on my artwork. Yeah, what's new? Okay, so I take it up to there, and then I take it up to the top hole. So I'm doing a figure 8. Now, I do not know if this is how you're supposed to do it. I have no clue, right? This is just how I like to do it. And if you know of a different way to do it, please do it your way. If you know of a proper way to do it, go for it. You know, for me, this just kind of works. So I went up and I came back through. So see, I've got it all covered. And then I come back to here and I poke it on up through again. And then I try to make some sort of knot right here, so it doesn't slide out too much. Right? And I try to tighten it down as much as I can by giving it a good squeeze. Alright, then I go, I wonder if I use 5 instead of, okay. So we're going to do one more figure 8. Figure 8. Down, and then I go back up to the top. And then I take it all the way straight down to the very bottom, making one long strand up top, on top of all of the others. And sometimes it's hard to get it through with that knot now being in your way. However, now you should have enough string left that you can tie a proper knot once again. And I do like to try to go through, oh, this looks goosey. I think I only have one strand there. You know, try to bring it through. Again, not a pro. Still don't really quite know how to knot these darn things. But I feel it's close enough. And I put a whole ton of glue on the back of this. So all these knots actually do get glued in. And they stick down pretty darn hard. Ta-da! Hedgies in. Okay. So if I would have done one more length, 5 lengths, 2, 3, 4. I don't think I need to do 5 lengths though. I think it's okay. If I look at it from the inside, that's what's being presented. I've got 2 strands, and 1 long one. I think that's pretty acceptable, even though there's only 1 full strand here. I think we'll be okay. Again, with all of the glue that goes on it, it should be fine. Right? Hike. Alright, trying to string this thread one more time. Fun times. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. Alright. Next one, I want to use one of the doilies in the middle. The middle 2 are going to be doilies. Doily. It's a fun word to say. Say it often to yourself. Make yourself sound insane for anybody else in the room. It's always an awesome way to be. Hi, I'm insane. Oh, nice. Nice to meet you. Yeah. Okay, so that just got all messed up. So now we got to poke holes through it and try to get it all lined up again. I don't think I love the doilies to work with. I think they're really a pain in the ass. But, so, where's my poker holder thingy? this is the easiest tool to line your stuff up with, truly. Yeah, this is the inside here. Okay. So now let's try these guys again. One here, one here, and we should be good to go. Alright, once again, we've pulled our string through, but not all the way through because that defeats the purpose, and I've done that numerous times throughout this process. Come on, come through. There we go. Start from the bottom. Again, don't let that string go. Pull it tight here so it lines up. Go into the middle one. Hit the middle one here. Come back through. Go back up. We're doing a figure 8. Again, I don't know if that's the bona fide way to do it. It's just how I've figured out how to do it to make it consistent. And bring it up through here, through to here. Come on, butter. There we go, now we can see it. Sometimes it's really hard to figure out the best way to view what you're doing. You know, and technically the way that I'm just trying to tell you how to do it, I could go right down to that bottom one. Let's give it a good yank. Make sure we've got what we have going on here. It went through the string itself, so it caught. That's not good. See if we can pull it and make it tight enough and make it so it doesn't matter. Yeah, it looks like we can. Okay, we're good. Hike. On to this one. Okay. So now we'll do one more set of figure 8s. Come on through here, buddy. Please? Come on. You gotta make sure everything's right side up too. Don't go through and do everything and then have something be upside down. You'll be really angry. Okay. There. Oh, we're getting hot as poo in here. Shut off. There we go. I do hate the sound of that heater. What a miserable sounding thing that is. Okay, so we came from there. We're going up to here. Figure 8 in the top. Okay, so we come down to this guy. So this guy's still free here. All right, and we're going to hit the center one again. Go back up to the top. Come on. Come on. Go to the top and do one swift kick to the bottom. And again, we only have one line here, which probably isn't good. We need to tie this in a knot here first. Make sure that this is all nice and tight without really trying to rip your papers. You don't want to rip your boards or your inner papers by pulling it too tight and having the thread cut through your paper. Another thing to not do. Please don't do that. Okay, so there's that knot, and then we can actually pull it up to here if we wanted to. And yeah, we can do that. I don't know if we need to, but what, does it hurt when we're not there? There we go. Going crazy, guys. Oh, that didn't work. Still not a pro. Just saying. Okay. 2 pages in. All right. I'm going to finish these last 3 without you, and then we will come back to step 8, which is most likely covering the cover. That's what's probably going to come up next. Looking cool, though. Right? Miss your hedgehog. Miss your squirrel. This is an awesome little book. I would love to have this book. Flowers. Yeah. Yeah. Lots of writing spots. And I will go through and put in some, you know, fun little clips and goofy little things. And yeah. All right. I will bring you back. Oh, sorry for jiggling you so much. New tripod. Probably not any different than the old one, though. Okay. We'll be back. Talk to you later. Bye. Hello, artists. Welcome back. Okay. She is all sewn in. You know, it's not perfect, but I did give it a little bit extra string, and I ran it through a couple more times because I want to make sure that nothing happens to it and that it stays strong. So here is our book. And then here, with that slot, see, we can pull it back on both sides so they can have a full coloring page. Cool, huh? Here, and of course our squirrel, and all of our fun pages in here too. Our trees and our flowers. Ooh, I don't like how that sits over the top of that. Do you? I don't. Yeah, that's one of the benefits of doing it this way, is that I can make that choice and go with it. Where is it? Pull that out. There. Now, this one I don't think I minded nearly as much. I think it was mainly because that one was larger. And I did put that little second one in there too, because I thought it was cute. Cute. Birds. All sorts of fun things in here. And we haven't even started to really add any of the extra ephemera yet. And I really do enjoy it how it is already. We know that we have the dove going to be coming up, I think, over here. Somewhere. Anyway, there she is. Isn't she beautiful? You know, and I'll go through and do some stamping on the pages and do all sorts of cool things when I get to that stage. So, this has 100 pages in it, maybe 102 or 104. Not positive. Okay, next stage. All right, stringing in the signatures. That's done. Next stage is covering the covers. Covers. Okay, now let's look at this piece of fabric. Isn't it beautiful? It's like an upholstery fabric. It's a much thicker fabric than the calicos that I've been using. I like that. And what I want to do is make sure that I line up the book the way that I want it to be, which is right here. Or do I want it to be this down the binding, which would make absolute sense. And then this coming out one side here, and coming out this side here. And then in the inside, this will get folded down and this will get folded up, and it covers everything. And we have extra flap here to wrap it around. Right? Or this could be the center of the book right here. This could be the binding. And then I would have to cut out a full new piece, which I don't think that that makes much sense, although I'm really partial to this beautiful little design. But we will see one of those designs with the wraparound. And actually, it'd be kind of cool to follow the pattern of the fabric itself. But I don't think I'm going to do that, because that looks like it would be really hard to make it look perfect. Okay, so we've got these little stars here. And I want to make sure that I give it enough space that when I fold it, we have space to line it up properly. So, without wasting too much fabric. I don't want to waste fabric either, right? You don't want to cut through other fabrics. It would be horrible. Now, I'm cutting it a little extra wide here because I want to have room to work with it. Okay. Like that? Must have been. Okay. Now, how are we going to do that so that that meets exactly up in the center? So what we need to do is measure 8 inches. Going to be at 4, right? And our center is 2 inches across. And it's going to be right here. So that's where I want the center of that medallion to go. And yeah, I do want the center of that medallion to go right there. Right? Ta-da. Now, how do I make it stay there? Because I want to make sure that it's lined up properly here too. So I'm going to leave that there and try to wrap this underneath. So we want to make sure that that didn't just move, which it did, to there. Okay. And I'm pushing it against that. All right, well, a good way to line this up is going to be by these little flowers. They go right to the edge. So let's not try to get the whole thing done right now. Let's just try to get this part glued on here properly. Although I probably should try to do all of it. Okay, so we're going to push it against there. We're going to push it down here. And we're going to make sure we got a little extra space there. That line to that line is good. Push it just a little bit more. A little bit more, make sure it's nice and tight. And that is going to be pretty darn perfect, guys. I think that's good. Okay. So once I got that lined up, the rest, oh, we can even still see it here. So it's not perfect, but it is pretty close. Actually, it's easier to see it on this side than it is on the other. Make sure what side's the top and what's the bottom and all that good stuff. It doesn't matter on this one, actually, right? Okay. Flowers, 2 flowers. I think we got it. Looks good here. Looks good there. Looks perfect there. All right, hike. This is why things take me so long, because I am really particular about it. Okay, so I'm going to give it more space even than just this. I'm going to give it a little extra space. That. Okay, 1/8 of an inch, or 2 millimeters. Okay. Let's just put it on here. Make sure you get it all the way to the edges. It's important. Okay, let's take Matt out of here. Matt's a little dirty looking underneath of there. We don't need this puppy to get dirty. This jelly press deli sheet. Looks a little bit cleaner. Okay, now Again, make sure you get your edges. All right, let's see what we've got here. It's perfect. Let's pull that a little bit tight there. That's really, really close to being spot on. It's pretty darn close. If somebody's that particular, they shouldn't be buying handmade stuff anyway. That's as good as I can get that puppy. Well, that would be cool if those two flowers lined up, wouldn't it? Can we cut both? I don't think so. This is the inside, possibly, most likely. I wonder if I can cut this like I can now, like that. Okay. So I'm going to take half an inch off. And I want to be kind of careful to make a straight cut. There. Got it. Got it to line up where I wanted it to. That's pretty darn close. This one is great over here. This is pretty. This is close too. Look at how good this is here. That's pretty awesome. I think I'm happy with that. Okay, we'll dump a ton of glue on here. 1.5 tons, by golly. And we want to make sure that it's getting these edges too. That's pretty beautiful, huh? Very, very happy with that. Okay. So what I could probably do is get out my sewing machine and go along this line, get out my sewing machine and go along this line. I could glue it down, but I think the sewing machine would look more cool. Where is the sewing machine? Oh, it's still down here. So. Okay. All right. Let's see. Covering covers. So this still comes under covering covers. I have to see if it's still plugged in. It does appear to still be plugged in. Okay, come here, buddy. This is Steve. Steve, the sewing machine. I'm gonna turn on. Oh, dun dun dun! All you guys are seeing is the sewing machine, and it's gonna be loud and noisy. So feel free to cover your ears and put on some other music. I'm gonna do a straight stitch, straight stitch, which is a 0 0, and I'm gonna do it kind of close together. Should I do a zigzag? I'm gonna do a zigzag actually. Still just kind of a close-knit zigzaggy. Okay, this might not be appropriate. Should probably check it. It's perfect. Just what I want. Okay. So, let's stitch this guy down here. Now this is kind of hard because it's got the chipboard right there. How do you stay on there? You just push it on there? Oh God. Okay, I'm going to try to fold the book up here a little bit and see if I can go from this direction instead. I want to go from this direction because I don't want this piece to push up. I want to make sure that it pushes flat as possible and stays in line with everything else, right? Yes. Absolutely right, Steffi. Hold on. I'm trying to get stuck on me. Okay. Alright. I've got too much stuff on this table, as usual. Alright, we're going to run that foot right along this guy. Do I dare to go up this direction? No, I do not. I'm going to pull a stoppage here. And I'm going to try to bring it down on this guy. So when it closes, it'll close around that guy. Ta-da! And then I'll make some sort of closing flap for this one. But first, oh, I did not make that square at all, this line. That's okay. It's actually okay there. I don't mind that so much. We're going to have a little extra fun with it here once I get this last bit sewn. And now this time I'm going to dare to do it this way. Just because it's not a whole lot of fabric to keep a hold on to. So. Let's do an X down to here. Now we're going to do an X up to the top. Get it stop down there, lift it up, move it around, do an across to here. Perfect. Now, like I said, I will deal with these edges later. And I'm going to figure out, of course, what type of clasp to use. I think a button or something interesting like that would be appropriate. Okay, so while we're here, do we want to sew these instead of... This is not the time to do this. I should have done this before. However, what I'm going to do is change the stitch. Okay, I can do the same stitch, but I'm going to make it a little bigger. And a little wider. So, I guess this would be the next step, is doing any sewing if you want to. Alright, so I'm going to turn you guys off, finish this up, and we'll come back. Hi guys. Well, we're back. Everything's sewn. I do not like these upper threads. I don't mind the bottom ones. But I'm not a huge thread fan. It's because they always feel a little messy to me. So they're giving those a haircut. We will leave these longer ones for now. I might lose them later. We don't know yet if they will drive me crazy or not. Okay, threads. Alright, so what have we done? I just used different stitches and went through and made my pockets. Instead of gluing them, which I've done with my other books, I've just glued them. These I decided to stitch down. And that's not necessary. It's a beautiful piece. It doesn't need the threads. We'll see if we like the bottom ones again as we go along. Okay, so now all the tuck spots have been made. So I don't have to go back in with glue, and that's been done. Probably would have been easier to do that in the very beginning when I was just, you know, I gotta do it. In the very beginning when I was folding paper. That's when that step should have been done. Okay. So we got a whole bunch of strings hanging off of this guy too. I want this to be here. I want this to go in here like this, right? So we are at our next step. So the choice is here too, whether we're going to keep this like this. I mean, if it all unravels like that, that'd be cool. But what's it going to take to unravel that? Just get rid of that. This can unravel some. I have no problems with that happening. I think that'll be good. But as long as it was, that was too much. A little bit more off of the top. Okay. So this I've made into a soft cover that's going to flip over, and I'll have to make some sort of ties, some sort of latches, some sort of something, right? Where is this guy coming from? It's coming from there. Okay, so let's put the binding in. So what section are we on now? We would be, so 9 would be last minute sewing, page sewing. All right, number 10 is glue pages into cover. Dun dun dun. All right. So I'm actually going to put the glue on this side. This guy's coming undone here. So we definitely want to make sure that we get a ton of glue on, you know, these knots. Is they like to pull apart already? Not really sure why, but I'm probably not knotting them correctly. And they drive me a little crazy anyway, so let's just get those little guys down there. And so we're going to just pile in the glue here. Make sure we get along all the edges. I mean, we don't want it so much that it goes through the holes necessarily. It shouldn't go through the holes. I don't think it has space to go through the holes. We want to make sure it gets on all edges. Okay. And we have 1/8 of an inch on each side, so we have kind of this little, actually the top is flush. All right, we're coming out the bottom. We don't want that. Not surprising, we put a lot of glue right there. I'm going to give it good pressure. It'll be an ooey gooey mess. And you see how with having that board covered, see how well it just blends in there? There's no black glaring piece of chipboard. You can't see what it is. You've got a little bit of fraying up here at top, but I don't care about that. That's just fine. And I'm just applying pressure. This does dry pretty quickly, but I just put a ton of that in there. So it's probably going to take a little bit for this to dry properly. Let's see. And then when you have your stuff in there, it can expand. I do like these guys because I want to add stuff to the bottom. Ta-da! Yeah, that still needs to dry some more. Okay, so I am just going to let this have some pressure. And I think I'm just going to let it dry for tonight. I don't want to mess around with it too much while it's drying. You know me, I get obsessive about things, and you know, I can just let this, yeah, it's definitely still just drying. It's just moved on me again. So. What can I put on it? It'd be nice to put something on there, wouldn't it? Make sure it's lined up properly before we do that, before we walk away. It is lined up well over here. I mean, it would just really stink for it to be crooked, you know, in the last 3 minutes and you make it crooked, you know, but just take your time and do it right. And yeah, this is full, new Mod Podge jar. Okay. So I'm going to just let that dry. I like how it turned out though. I think it's quite pretty. And this will probably get trimmed down so that it's fringing like this will do. And you know, these are labors of love. There is nothing fast about these. They take a lot of time. They take a lot of time. Oh, I'm so tired. You guys have a good night. We'll chat soon. Thanks so much for watching. Mwah! Love ya. Bye.